Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, students.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Miss.
Okay, for this meeting, we will learn about speaking to entertain and focus on how to talk about experience. Maybe for those of you who meet strangers, for example, in the Ome TV application, and you are confused about what to talk to them, you can ask about their experience or tell your experience to have a dialogue with them. So let's start our lesson today. Now we have 3 questions. First, have you ever eaten sushi? What's the answer? Yes, I have. Or I have eaten sushi several times. So several times means many times. Next question, have you ever been to a Chinese restaurant? If the answer is no, we can answer no, I haven't. But we would like, so we can answer I have always wanted to go to one. The last, has your mother ever cooked Mexican food? The answer is no, she hasn't, or she has never cooked Mexican food. When we talk about experience, we use present perfect tense. In these sentences, you can see there is a new auxiliary for us. Yes, we use have and has. So look at the subject. I, you, they, we. Go with have. She, he, she, it. Go with has. And we use the past participle form of the verb. Verb 3. Look at the example. We have eaten, been, and cooked. It is verb 3. So let's see the positive sentence here. I have eaten sushi several times. When did I eat the sushi? We don't know, right? It doesn't matter. So here, when you are talking about their experience, time doesn't matter. You look at the fact, you look at the action, you see what happened, not the time, okay? So that's why we talk about experiences with present perfect tense. Now, look at the negative sentence. She hasn't cooked any cake. So, when you come up with a negative sentence, nothing else changes. The verb is still past participle, right? Don't change it. What about the question? Have you ever fallen in love? Has a dog ever bitten you? When you ask a question, the auxiliary have and has changed its position. You start with it. So if your subject I, you, they, we, you start with have. But if your subject is he, she, it, you start with has. When talking about experiences, we use the word ever and never very often. What do they mean? Ever means at any time, and you usually use it in question. Gitu. Ever goes with questions. So here is an example. Have you ever been abroad? Ever, it means at any time in your life. So what's the answer? Yes, I have. Okay, let's have a look at the example for never. As you ask a question, you ask with ever again. Have you ever traveled to different country? Okay, let's give a negative answer. This time, let's say no. No, I haven't been to different country. Instead of saying haven't, you can as well say never, and never means not at all. Example, I have never to a different country. Let's have a look at the verb and their forms in present perfect tense again, right? Remember, some very are regular and some others are irregular. In questions or in positive sentences or in negative sentences, we always use the past participle form of the verb. So here we have regular verbs and we have irregular verbs. How do they change when you want to talk about their past participle for travel? Regular ones take an ed, just like the past form, so it's the same. Cook, being cooked. Travel, being traveled. Try, being tried. And save, being saved. There is ed, ed. So it's regular, it's the same as the past form. If you use irregular, then it changes completely. You need to memorize these ones. It. Remember, the past form is ate. The past participle, the third form would be eaten. So you can say, have you ever eaten sushi? B. Yes, the past form is was, or verb, the past participle form is been. So have you ever been to Paris? See? So, and the past participle form is seen. Have you ever seen an elephant? Buy, being bought. Wear, being worn. Made, being made. And have, being had. There are more verbs to memorize, of course, but start with these ones, all right? So I have 5 questions. They are incomplete. So step 1 is to complete the question. Then we will talk about them. The first question, have you ever? What is the past participle form of this verb? Yes, it's been. Have you ever been to a fashion show? No, I haven't. But I would love to know. Next question. Have you ever had Okay, have you ever had an argument with your brother or sister about clothes? Have you? Yes, I have. When? When was that? 5 years ago. So in this question, when I ask for a detail and I want to know the time, I said when. When was that? And I said it on past tense. But in the first question, because I'm talking about an experience and there is no timeline, you don't say was or did. Keep that in mind. Next question. Have you ever ruined? Have you ever ruined clothes in the washing machine? Have you? Yes, I have. Once. What did you ruin? I ruined a sweater. The next question. Have you ever met someone wearing exactly like you? It's a funny situation. Have you? No, I haven't. Or I have never. The last, have you bought something and never worn it? What the answer? Yes, I have many times. Okay, let's practice dialogue. There is an example here. So who wants to try? Triani, do you want to try?
Yes, Miss.
Or okay. What's your who is your partner? Nova, can you?
Yes, Miss.
A and B, yeah?
Yes.
First Nova.
Have you ever been abroad? Where have you been? Which country would you like to visit and why?
Yes, I have been to other countries like Australia, Singapore, and Japan. I would like to visit France because I want to see Eiffel Tower as it is the most romantic country in the world.
Okay, so who's the next? Laila, do you want to try?
Okay, Miss.
Uh, okay, who is want to being Laila partner?
I can miss.
Okay, let's start. C and D.
Have you ever ridden a horse, an elephant, a camel, a motorbike, or anything else?
Riding kind of animal? Never. I have never ridden any animal. Yet I ever ride motorbike when I was in Bali. I tried to ride motorbike and I had so much fun there. Traveled around Bali riding a motorbike.
Thank you guys. Your pronunciation is so good. Okay, for E and F. Ani, do you want to try again?
Yes, miss. Oh,
Okay, who is the partner?
Me, Miss.
Oh, thank you, Nova. Okay, for you all, let's.
Okay, Annie, start with me. Have you traveled by plane or ship? Which, which do you prefer?
I have been traveling quite often. For me, traveling by plane is much more convenient. We can have a meal in the plane, put our luggage safely.
Great, guys. So the last, who wanna try? For G and let me, but the H, who wanna being my partner?
Me, Miss, I wanna try to read the dialogue.
Okay. Have you, do you believe in ghosts?
No, never. Hope not. But I believe there are two different lives in this life as well. I don't really know about it, but I think it exists.
Exists. Thank you, Laila. Thank you, guys. Okay, now I'll give you 5 minutes to share your most memorable experience. And the time starts now.
Okay, miss.
2 more minutes, students. Okay, guys, are you done?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, who wanna be first?
Miss me.
Me,
Who?
Miss.
Who?
Um,
Laila, okay. Okay, Laila. Okay, Laila.
okay, I
Time
want
is
to
yours.
tell you about my experience. Mm, my experience that I may never forget is that I was able to meet my idol 3 years ago. It was an unimaginable moment in my life when I was able to meet the idol that I really admire. Enough, Miss. I'm sorry, Miss. That's my experience in my life.
Oh, it was an interesting experience, Laila. Thank you for telling us. Okay, who's the next?
I Miss.
Yes, Miss.
Oh, Riani. Okay.
Uh, I want to tell about my experience. Last Thursday was my day off. I didn't go anywhere. I just stayed at home for 2 weeks to do the same activities routinely, over and over again. I felt that was the worst day I had ever passed. I, I woke up earlier and did subuh prayer. After that, I had breakfast with my family in the morning. At 8 a.m., I turned on computer and played many games. Not felt it was 10 o'clock, I rushed to take a bath to freshen my body. Then I watched my favorite TV programs until it was midday. At 1 p.m., I went to bathroom to ablution and immediately did Zuhur prayer. Then I had lunch and helped my mother to clean the house. Because I was tired, I fell asleep on the couch. Unexpectedly, after waking up, I had a guest who could cheer me up. My aunt came in with her child. I kept playing with my niece until nightfall. Although just a home holiday, at least to refresh my mind from the routine activities in the office. Okay, that is my experience, Miss, in home.
Oh my God, Riani, it's a long story. And your experience is so funny. Honestly, I did it too. Okay, the last, Nova.
Okay, Miss. I want to tell at school. When I in senior high school, I went to Tanggamus Mountain in Tanggamus District, Lampung. I have never climbed it before. I went there with some of my friends. We started climbing at 7 p.m. It was so dark, but I felt no worry because all of my friends were professional climbers. We climbed slowly and enjoyed the moment. After climbing for about 7 hours, we could reach the top of the mountain. There were a lot of other climbers who reached that top faster than us. We waited the sun rose while cooking some food and drinking coffee to get warm. Others sang and others shared stories or lie on the ground to take a rest. After seeing the sunrise, we prepared tent because we wanted to stay there for 3 years. 3 days, I mean, sorry. We really enjoyed the moment and did so many interesting activities in there. After all, that was my greatest experience I have ever had in my life. It was really tiring, but I was very happy. That's all, Miss.
Wow, what an amazing experience. I envy you. Thanks for the story, Nova. Thanks for all you guys. So let's have a look at today's keywords and phrases. We learn how to talk about experiences. Experience is the knowledge you get from doing a job or from doing something or seeing it or feeling it. We learn how to use present perfect tense talking about experiences. Let's have a look at the structure. If you start a sentence with I, you, they, we, the auxiliary is have. Okay, so you can say, I have been to London. You always have to use past participle form of the verb. If you have he, she, it, then the auxiliary is has. He has been to London. If you want to negative, you need to say hasn't. And for I, you, they, we, it's haven't. If you want to form a question, you say, have you been to? Have you ever been to Paris? Has he ever been to Paris? And we learn the verb ever means at any time, and you always have to use it in question. Have you ever eaten sushi? We also learn how to use never. It means not at all, and when you use never, you don't negate the sentence because never has a negative meaning. I have never eaten sushi. Okay, is it clear, guys?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, Miss.
Clear, Miss.
Okay, thank you for your attention and participation during today's study. I hope you can understand the material and see you at the next meeting. Goodbye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Miss.